But he's got a lot of speed and he's had a lot of work. He's very fit. Yeah.
Is it your belief maybe, but Ice Point may be a little bit better next preparation? Just being here, I know he's been here for a while, but you had problems early on.
Yeah, that's possible. But his work's been good enough to suggest that he is a group class horse. And
Is at this stage.
And Andrew, I'm tipping this race has the most exotic lineup as far as the breeding. We've got a couple of Kiwi breds, an Argentinian, and a Pommy bred horse, Sand Mason. That's quite exotic, isn't it?
It is quite exotic, and it's quite remarkable the horse is back racing. It's great for the owners because he pulled up with very lame after the Melbourne Cup, but Elf's diving to say something here.
Well, I was just going to, with all those interesting exotics of this, also another one, No Deposit has had 14 wins on 14 different racetracks.
Well, there we go. Alf Matthews always with a strange and astounding fact. Correct weight Cheltenham on 8, 4, 9 and 2. Now, first
field is ready. Grey Song broke through the front of the gates and Mr. Murphy followed him through, and neither has gone all that far at all. So 1600. All clear now, they're off and racing. Old Man jumping okay with Heavy Nova. Mr. Prudent dawdled out of the barriers and settled 4 lengths last. Walk on Air had begun fast and No Deposit jumped quickly from C Senor. They settled footy into stride now. No Deposit is working to the lead over Heavy Nova, Walk on Air and C Senor. As they make the run around the top turn at the 1200 metres, Ice Point was on the improved deep out. Sand Mason in behind them with Mr. Murphy going past him, and then Grey Song. A length further back is Old Man on the inside from Concha to Mustagil, and then came Tally Thunder, Don Eduardo, and he's followed by Time Off and Mr. Prudent 3 lengths away. About 900 to go, and Ice Point continued his run, took him to the lead, almost a length in front of No Deposit C Senor. A length further back is Mr. Murphy, about 4 wide there, being closely followed by Walk on Air, Heavy Nova, and next is Grey Song. A length and a half to Old Man, Sand Mason, Concha, the one to Tally Thunder, and then came Mustagil well back on the inside, going towards and past the 600 metre mark now. Time Off commencing a run, and then Mr. Prudent and Don Eduardo's last swinging towards the bend now. And the leader is now No Deposit getting through, whereas Ice Point dropped off quickly, and No Deposit's going to corner with a good lead. He's going to swing about 2 to C Senor, and then Walk on Air, and Grey Song is next as they cornered. No Deposit by 2 lengths to C Senor. Walk on Air's coming home, and then Grey Song on the outside, and Time Off is making some ground. 100 to go though, and this is kicked away again. No Deposit by about 3 lengths to Walk on Air and Old Man, but it's No Deposit well cleared. Geez, racing well. No Deposit won it by 3 to Walk on Air. Old Man might have got the third from Conchula, and next in then was Time Off. There's Don Eduardo making some ground wide out, followed by Grey Song, and then came Mustagil, Heavy Nova and C Senor, Tally Thunder, Mr. Prudent. Sand Mason is well back, and Mr. Murphy is second last to go over the line with Ice Point about last. No Deposit, ridden by Nashra Witter, trained by Robert Smurden. This 7-year-old has never raced in better form. Terrific win, number 8, No Deposit, 5:30.220. Never going to be beaten up the straight. 1:31, oh, that can't be right. I'd be very surprised. We'll check the time later. 8 in the frame, No Deposit, Nashra Witter and Robert Smurden. Second, number 14, Walk on Air, Stephen King and Colin Alderson. And the third number's yet to come up. 8:14, and the third number to come. A good front-running effort, or at least he was on the pace all of the way. Ice Point had the lead. Is third. Number 12 has got third, Old Man. So 8, 14 and 12 are the numbers. 8, 14 and 12 in the Carlton Draft Cardine Cup. No Deposit first. Nashra Witter and Robert Smurden. Isn't he flying? He was never going to be beaten in the run home.
Just stunning, isn't he? The way No Deposit is racing, and Nashra Willer's mount collects the cash. So Walk on Air the runner-up, and Old Man in third. Fourth to be confirmed. Now Quaddy on 3, 9, 4 and 8 is already up. And just flashed off the text page. We'll get that for you as soon as we can. So
racing Old Man away okay. Walk on Air left well, so did Heavy Nova, and further out No Deposit quickly going up towards the front. See Senor travelling forward with Ice Point, and further out Mr. Murphy. Mr. Prudent couldn't go a yard early, he's tailed off. Sorting themselves out, and No Deposit just led from C Senor, and Ice Point is up on the outside. Walk on Air further back from Heavy Nova, the fence, a length into Sand Mason. Around the outside, Mr. Murphy from Grey Song. Further back then Old Man. Conchula followed back in the middle by Mustajil. Tully Thunder the fence. A length into Don Eduardo. Further back then Time Off, and two to Mr. Prudent. Coming down the side, and the Argentinian around the outside, Ice Point, has moved about a half length in front of No Deposit. A length into C Senor. Further back is Mr. Murphy, deep around Walk on Air. The inside Heavy Nova. A half into Grey Song. Two to Sand Mason. Conchula wide. Old Man locked away on the fence. A length into Tully Thunder. Then came Time Off. Further back Mustajil. One further back Don Eduardo, and Mr. Prudent's gone up outside him. 650 metres to go. Ice Point on the outside of No Deposit. C Senor's gone up out 3 deep. A length further back in the race. Mr. Murphy, Walk on Air back in the middle from Grey Song. Heavy Nova went back to the inside as Ice Point lost ground on the turn. Coming around the bend now, and over on the inside, No Deposit reclaimed the lead and shot a length in front of C Senor. Two then to Walk on Air. Then Grey Song from Old Man. Further back in the race, Mr. Murphy, followed by the outside Time Off, but No Deposit has sprinted away. He's a rejuvenated horse, this fellow, No Deposit. He's 5 in front of Walk on Air. Then Old Man, followed by Grey Song, Conchula, but No Deposit in a canter down to the line by 4 lengths to Walk on Air. Old Man got third from Conchula. The outside of those making ground, late as Don Eduardo. From Time Off, Grey Song pulled up quickly from Mustajil. Then C Senor from Heavy Nova. Well back Tully Thunder, Mr. Prudent, Sand Mason. Then Mr. Murphy, who dropped right out, and Ice Point is back tailed off.
Winner 8, No Deposit, Nashua Willa, 5:32.50, defeated 14, Walk on Air, the favourite, 190, and third will go to 12, Old Man, 270.
Almost set at Toowoomba, race 1. Raw Impulse, the favourite, number 1. 3 a win, 104 for the place.
And we're just about ready. Basil's Blues stood up well. Pretty well set to go for the opening.
Eyes on 4 separate runners in running. And those, of course, being Crawl, Freemason, Gordo and Salgado. That'll keep him busy. John Hawkes with 4 runners. That'll keep the eyes busy, Ian Craig.
Yes, indeed. A bit like Gay in one of the earlier races, Brendan. She had 4, didn't she, in the Parramatta Cup, won by the outsider of the quartet, Laguna Lake. Yes, Hawksy represented strongly here, and the best of those as far as the ring is concerned, and the tote is none other than 7 Gordo, who's at $4.30 on the tote. Favourite on the tote, number 1. And that's Defier, 370, 380 now for number 4 Century Kid, and 430 number 7 Gordo. And in the ring, the well-tried favourite is number 4 Century Kid, ahead of number 1 Defier, and the third pick is 7 Gordo, who's come in about a half point in the last few minutes. Previous, the Millie Fox won by 4 Gentle Genius. Lenny Beasley, first day back, following that shocking fall here nearly 4 months ago. And Gentle Genius, Len Beasley, beat 15 Snow Hero, 3 Third Ancient Song, 6 Moon Dragon was 4th. Now, this has been a very good race over the years. The race registered as the Frederick Clissold Stakes, known today as the Premier Express Freight Stakes. Lord Essex beat Crawl last year with Dotteressa third. Ab Initio won it in 2001. Ab Initio won it twice, 99 as well. But horses like Secret Savings and Dane Winner, Deposition, Big Dreams, Joanne. Oh, it's been a very good race. Now, out of the saddle is Rob Thompson from Stormcat Academy, and still quite a few others to move in. Now, as our radio listeners link in here, 370 on the tote, number 4. Century Kid has joined Defier. And Gordo, number 7, 470. That's New South Wales wise. And in the ring, Century Kid's been well tried. He looks very, very well. And he's been well labelled in the ring, and he's the favourite. He's about 80 cents shorter than Defier. And the third pick is Gordo, and they're the only 3 under double figures. A sprinkle around for Salgado. Ronnie Duff, is he of the opinion he'll run well. Now, Dress Circle coming forward now. Shogun Lodge resuming. He's still away with Freemason. Century Kid about to be led up. Crawl out behind the line. Hasn't he been a grand campaigner? Crawl. He's won for Jack and Bob Ingham. 1.438 million. Now Marwin Gold settles in the stalls. That paves the way for Freemason presently and Crawl. Century Kid now to outright favouritism on the toe to New South Wales, 360, 20 cents shorter than Defier. First up since October, Defier, of course, first up since his great second on the Cox Plate to Northerly. Now they're ready. Race number 7. Line settles down. They're away. To Be Fair didn't jump well on the same. Freemason and Crawl. Marwin Gold of the lead from presently. Century Kid working around them, followed by Salgado, and then comes Defier. He's reasonably handy today, and then Gordo, Stormcat Academy, Dress Circle, To Be Fair, Sports Brat, Shogun Lodge, second last. Freemason, Crawl is last. As they come past the 750, they string out Marwin Gold, about 3/4 to a half-length. Century Kid presently third, then Salgado. Defier at its quarters on the outer, 3 to Gordo and 2 to Sports Brat, and then Dress Circle. Stormcat Academy, the rail, 600 ahead of them. Then Shogun Lodge around To Be Fair, and 3 lengths to Freemason in company with Crawl as they swing around the corner now. And Marwin Gold, 3/4 of a length on Century Kid, being tracked by presently Salgado the inside, then Defier, Gordo and Sports Brat, and Stormcat Academy next from Dress Circle. 300 to go. A few chances. Century Kid got to the front. Salgado the inner. Here's Gordo running home resolutely, and Defier behind it, but it's Gordo out in the centre of the track, taking the lead clearly now. Salgado the rails, Gordo in front, Gordo wins it. Gordo has beaten presently who kicked, and Salgado, and then Defier. Shogun Lodge made up good ground late, and then Stormcat Academy followed by Freemason. Century Kid gave in meekly from Called, Marwin Gold, and then Dress Circle, To Be Fair, and last home was Sports Brats. Gordo, number 7, ridden by Corey Brown, takes out the Premier Express under the registered name of the Frederick Clissold, and 460. What a great first up horse he is. What a good horse all round. Thank you very much. But he excels fresh. Hadn't started since the Emirates at Flemington on the 9th of November. And Corey Brown bringing the brief Truce Gelding down the centre of the Rosehill Straight. And he's been able to win it well. 7, 9, 10 and a photo for 4th. Gordo, C. Brown for John Hooks. Number 9, second, presently kicked well in the middle. Bruce McLaughlin, James Innes. And number 10, Salgado, John Hooks, Rodney Quinn over on the inside third. Photo for 4th. Defier run a nice race. Shogun Lodge made up ground. Century Kid weakened out of it, disappointed. Marwin Gold likewise. But, well, he was simply too good for them. Gordo in the time of 1:10.19. They're not going flash times today. The race record, Secret Savings, 108.51. 34.14. 7, 9, 10, and the finish links being called upon to determine third after race number 7.
Okay, 4th being determined by the photo. And how about Shogun Lodge's run? The marvellous old stager, the 6-year-old, he's not an old stager, his 50th career start. He's in behind them as we pick up the replay. There's Gordo. There's the green colours in behind them, the chestnut, eased to the outside by Hugh Bowman. He's out of shot now as Gordo goes past Defier with, they've got a little bit tight. Gordo races clear. Salgado with the yellow sleeves presently in between them. And here comes Shogun Lodge with Defier. What a super run. Maybe Defier will get 4th. We'll await that to be confirmed. A Unitab in New South Wales first 4. Now, from a different angle, as they swing for home. Century Kid sitting outside the leader. Salgado, no luck there. Rolls back to the inside, held up momentarily. Presently with the all-white colours. Here comes Gordo. Defier with the pom-pom. That run closed up. And Shogun Lodge rattling home. Crawl making up plenty of ground in the run to the line. Now, 4th, we still await to be confirmed. Full details we have. Cheltenham's due in 4. And latest in betting details here looks this way. Looking for changes. Support for Mottram. It comes in with support. We check over the page. Amberlight's a $4 chance, the 8. And Zibolino into $4.90, 5.20 New South Wales. Still no sign of 4th at Rosehill. Tight go Defier and Shogun Lodge. Star of Telesto and Stasira equal top rate. 2 and 6 ahead of 3 and then number 5. 2 and 6 from 3 and then number 5. I can tell you that the 8 and the 9 are also equal 4th picks in Sky ratings. We only fit the 4 on screen. But that's a little leg up for you. Negate is at 360. Sungift 740. If you like those two, 8 and 9, there they are there. There's Z Square. And Harry's Mate for Justin Stanley, well fancied in betting. Track was upgraded after race 2 from slow to dead. Gordo remains undefeated. Still no sign of 4th placing being posted at Rosehill Gardens. 7, 9, 10. Break as we await the runners to arrive in the parade ring at Caulfield. Corey Brown heads back to the scales at Rosehill.
Racing in the Premier, and near the fan Stormcat Academy burst to begin. Marwin Gold poked the bib in front soon after, and presently is going quickly, so is Century Kid, and up ahead of the others then is Salgado in the centre. Over on the outside of those then would have been Gordo, a gap for the back of Stormcat Academy losing ground. Defier was in behind them. At the head of the others to be free, being followed then by Stormbrat. And a long way back is Shogun Lodge, and last of all at this stage is Freemason. On the side of the track May Thunder, 6:50 left to run, and Marwin Gold is going to bring them to the corner. A half length in advance of Century Kid, a length and a half for the back behind them presently. Over on the outside is Dress Circle looking for room, and here comes Defier with a nice run in the centre, and right down the outside coming home with a grand run is Gordo as they got towards the distance, and on the inside rail it was Salgado with the heady front. Defier's in the centre, and right over on the outside Gordo at 100 miles an hour is picking them up. Gordo goes to presently. Gordo was doing better than presently, and Gordo has got there presently, and Salgado for second and third. Defier fourth. Shogun Lodge a big run. A gap for the back was Stormcat Academy, being followed then by it probably Freemason. A Century Kid. Marwin Gold was next. The fairway back of the event then was Crawl. A long way back in the race too was Dress Circle. There's another one to be free, and Stormbrat was last to greet the judge in the event.
Not much doubt about that. Gordo doing it for Sport Odds and our Sporting Chance, paying $4.60, $1.90. Not quite sure what bet we got, but I'm hoping we get a slightly better price than that. And there's another pair of boots for somebody.
I tell you, a great run. A long last 50 metres, though. He really gave it his all. It was a real struggle to the finish. But it's carnival atmosphere in here, let me tell you. How
Just
much
been advised our collector's $110.
Well, that'll go a long way.
Beautiful. You can't go broke making a profit. Now, our great friends at the Doyle's Palace Hotel, Watsons Bay, would again like to offer listeners of the Saturday Sport Network a very special deal for tuning into our show. So if you are looking to treat yourself to a getaway in Sydney, or if you're heading down to town for your favourite sporting event, then Doyle's has a deal for you. Simply
From 10 o'clock. Good afternoon, and don't forget the Greyhounds tonight. There'll be a big Australian Cup final.
Sure will, and we'll have our very own Dean Caparella trackside with all of the winning interviews, hopefully, and also Simone Britton. Now, protest details at Rosehill. Note there is a dead heat for 4th. It's Defier's rider Chris Muntz who's fired in the protest. They're looking at, in the stewards' room at the moment, at a combination of head-on and lateral. Gordo with the black jacket and white cap comes in a little. How much the stewards will look at, where the momentum is, and also the finishing margin. Also dead heating for 4th was Shogun Lodge. So that's vision coming through via the tape machine they're showing at the moment. And Chris Muntz is in the stewards' room at Rosehill Gardens, putting forward his case after Defier, which sat in front of Gordo when they turned for home. Gordo came to the outside. And Chris Muntz currently making his case in the stewards' room. So 4th against 1st, placings 7, 9, 10, 1 and 2 dead heated for 4th. It is the one, Defier, Chris Muntz, who is fired in the protest, alleging interference over the concluding stages. Now, at Cheltenham, we just await...
One Silver Birch.
Tab dividends for the experts in home refinance.
Moving up for the last, and Panache locked away. White Mist goes into its place a little wider on the course. Quaddy this afternoon paid 1,587, 23, 9, 4 and 8. Daily Double paid 21.10 on 9 and 8. Natural Blitz took out the Shannon's Classic, likely to head to Sydney for the Rosehill Guineas. Yell took out the Futurity. He won't be going round to the Newmarket. That's not on the agenda. Of course, the Victoria Cup won by Mr. Trickster beating Northerly into second place. And at No Deposit, ridden by Nash Rawiller, taking out the Caroline Cup. Seymour and Colac tomorrow. It's Colac Cup Day. Last few to get set. Balonic is still away. So is Fashionera. Hilua's coming into the gates now, and Eulalie to get set. Panache has the inside. Violet Tinsel Grey has been racing very consistently, due to breakthrough. Has gate 2 this afternoon. Queen Carey had gone up with Eulalie, so the field is set. Started coming around to the platform now. Light flashes in the 1200 shoot. They're off. Violet Tinch jumped okay. Panache jumped reasonably, will drift back early, and Jaluka away in a hurry on the outside. Queen Carey and Torfisa began quickly. Dolphin Dance settling just off the pace on the inside, but Jaluka's gone fast and led, settling down. 900 to go. Jaluka about a length in front of Torfisa. Dolphin Dance third. Violet Tinch getting up on the inside now, the grey. Then Fashionera, Queen Carey wider out. 1 to Eulalie and May Costas. 2 lengths further back as Hilua, White Mist, and then 2 Panache and Balonic as last of all. Jaluka, the leader at the 600 metre mark, has a narrow advantage from Torfisa the outside. Getting a good trail, Violet Tints on the inside of Dolphin Dance, 2 to Fashionera. Then came Queen Carey and Eulalie from May Costas and White Mist as they swing the corner. And Jaluka with Torfisa are going to corner level pegging. Dolphin Dance third. Violet Tints needs a run right behind them. Doesn't want to switch to the inside, although now he does. And it gets a run through, and Queen Carey and White Mist is right down the outside. There's about 6 across the track. Violet Tints got up on the inside. Fashionera and White Mist wide out. Violet Tints, Fashionera, White Mist with 50 to go. They're coming to the line now. Fashionera, Violet Tints. White Mist blew them all out. Got there the last stride. White Mist from either Violet Tints or Fashionera, the minors. Then May Costas fourth, followed by Torfisa, Dolphin Dance, Jaluka and Panache, trailed by Balonic and Queen Carey. Eulalie second last and Hilua last in. Gave them a good start, settled about third last, but came the widest, unleashing a terrific finishing burst to get up and win. A drifter on track, but she stormed home to get there for Brian Mayfield Smith and Luke Curry. Number 2, White Mist in 1:10.21. Blousing Fashionera and Violet Tints. Won't be much between those two for the minor end of the prize, but 2 White Mist is first in the frame. 2 White Mist. A 4-year-old bay mare by Rubiton from Desilas, trained by Brian Mayfield Smith and ridden by Luke Curry. Not too sure about the minor end of the prize. The well-tried Violet Tints, it was pretty obvious Danny Nikolic really didn't want to go to the inside. He was waiting for something to appear on his outside. The run wasn't going to come, so he had to come inside. And I think he realised, but at this time of the day, that the outside was going to provide the better going, and that's where Luke Curry was able to sweep wide and get up and win. Hard to ascertain the second placing looking at the print, because Fashionera is between horses and Violet Tints also being a grey in a photo finish, so the judge might have his work cut out semaphoring that. In fact, he hasn't been able to separate them. It's a dead heat for second place. Dead heat between 8 Fashionera and 12 Violet Tints. 2, and a dead heat between 8 and 12.
Okay, Greg, have to leave you there with White Mist, 7:32.20. Now, Ray Murray, he's about to deliver the decision. Let's go back trackside to Rose Hill.
Out to Defier, and Defier's taken out onto the hindquarters at about that point of Gordo. If we continue on, from that point then, Gordo commences to lay in here, gets in, hampers Defier. Chris Munt's got to take hold. Now, dismissing the objection, the stewards can't be satisfied. Gordo has come from a length and a half behind. It's got something in the order of a long head, or perhaps even a short neck in front of Defier. We can't be satisfied that that interference has cost Defier 3/4 of a length, or indeed has costed
protest dismissed in Sydney.
Protest dismissed. Well, it has costed sufficient ground to have saved to our comfortable satisfaction that the fire was going to be Gordo home. Now, for those reasons, Chris Munce, we dismiss your objections, but we will want to see both yourself and Corey Brown before you leave the track tonight. Okay, thank you.
Chairman of Stewards Ray Murray, he's saying he'd like to see Corey Brown before he leaves the track this evening, but the protest has been dismissed. Placing stand, you may have noticed, dead heat for second. Greg Miles announced 2 from 8 and 12, dead heating, 10 in fourth. Okay, as we get near Eagle Farm,
Now the words come through that those races are finished down there, and that Storm is normally rule of thumb of
Gales report, hopefully that's not too far off, and we'll be able to confirm the first 4 dividend Tote New South Wales. Last on the card at Eagle Farms, a Unitab first 4 event. This race at Rosehill, last on the card, is the last leg of the quaddie for quaddie players. Numbers 10, 4 and 7. And among the earlier highlights today, Grand City winning the first, Chrysler Mirage the second, Bollinger was impressive the third. The De Gea Galloper, Laguna Lake surprised them in the Parramatta Cup. Hasner got a last stride decision in the Silver Slipper. Gentle Genius, first ever first up victory. And Gordo, undefeated first up in the Clissold Stakes, survived a protest. Correct weights going through at Eagle Farm. First 4, $1,866.10. One more race to be run and won from Eagle Farm.
Yep, last event of the day. And number 2, Shove Off, is the popular pick here. $3.90 and $2.40. And has been well tried in the ring. Shove Off. Will this complete a big week for John Singleton? He won earlier the Millie Fox with Gentle Genius. Anyway, Shove Off, best tried in the last of the day. They're all in, set to run. Last of the afternoon is over the 1,200 metres. Previous one by Gordo. Protest by one of the dead heaters, Defire, against the winner, dismissed. Set now. They're off on the last. Bell Gold didn't jump all that quickly and the net flew out. Mr. Royston chasing the net, and Mr. Royston hits the front from the net. Targi into third posse, followed by Isla Christina, then the heavily back Shove Off. A length Impreza caught a little wide, followed by Cognac Trader, and then Moella, followed by Bell Gold on the inside. Stormy Mo very deep and spurred on as the tail ender past the 800, and Mr. Royston a clear-cut leader from the net. Third is Targi, fourth Isla Christina. Shove Off the rails is fifth, and 2 lengths to Bell Gold and Impreza. Then Cognac Trader, Stormy Mo, Moella, and spurred on brings up the rear. Down past the 500 they run, and Mr. Royston in front, a length and 3/4 the net, followed by Targi, Shove Off, and a gap to Isla Christina, and a couple further off Impreza, and then comes Bell Gold and Cognac Trader straightening up, and Mr. Royston a length on the net. Shove Off bailed away, so too Isla Christina. Targi, Bell Gold is into the clear, followed by Impreza, and the others struggle, headed by spurred on Mr. Royston the leader. They're closing in Bell Gold and Impreza. Mr. Royston still in front. Impreza's closing the gap on the outside. Mr. Royston clinging on. Mr. Royston or Impreza in a closey from Bell Gold, Shove Off, Targi, and the net not far away from spurred on Isla Christina. Then came on the extreme outside Cognac Trader. I see Bell Gold pulling up a little quickly in the run on, and the last 2 in were Moella and Stormy Mo. Good finish in the last of the day. Mr. Royston, number 3, ridden by Jimmy Cassidy, and Impreza on the outside, ridden by James Innes. And as the line has been reached, there will be very, very little in it. You probably heard me withdraw coming close to the line. They run away from us here at Rosehill. The rail's out 6 metres, and it's a nightmare when you have finishers such as this trying to interpret what knows